Hi all and welcome to our channel. In this video, we will do exploratory data analysis with SQL on an accident database. This project actually you can highlight as a SQL portfolio project because we are going to cover a lot of complex logics, complex queries and lot of concepts throughout the video. And as a data analyst, we will be answering similar questions in our day-to-day activities. And we will be using different tools to answer the questions. And the same questions you can answer using Python, Tableau, Power BI, Looker and similar data analytics or business intelligence tools as well. But in this video, we will focus on SQL and how we will answer the question using SQL. In order to answer all these questions, in this video, we will be using an accident database. And we are going to name that accident database as accident analysis database. So what we can do here is, first of all, let me run this query, which is use accident analysis database and see if the database is present in the server, SQL server. Now let me run this query and see what happens. Now we are getting an error message because database does not exist. So first thing what we are going to do here is we are going to create the accident database. So we will create the database first. Create database. The name is accident analysis. Copy. We will create the accident analysis database. Execute this and command completed successfully and the database is created. But even now we are not able to find the database over here. Let us refresh it once, then it should be visible. Okay, I have refreshed it. Now we have the accident analysis database here. Now I have run this query and you can see that this box is populated by our accident analysis database. And now we are going to use two tables for answering all the questions, which are accident and vehicle. So currently the database is empty. It does not have any tables. What we have to do now is we have to create two tables which are accident and vehicle and import data into that table. Here we are not going to manually use the create and insert statement to create and insert data into the tables. Instead, what we are going to do here is we are going to import the two accident and vehicle tables as flat files into the SQL server. So I'm going to the database. I'm right clicking over the database and you can see an option called as task, and inside the task we have an option called as import flat files. So click on that, then click on next. Location of files to be imported. Now let me browse the location. So I have already downloaded the accident and vehicle tables as .txt files and have placed it over in some folder. Now I'm going to import this accident.txt file into the SQL server. So click on open. Now the table is named as accident and the schema is DBO, which is the by default schema. Now click on next and we can see that we have the table which is in tabular format. Earlier it was in comma separated formats. So now click on next and now we have the option to change the data types. Select if the column is a primary key and either we have to allow null values or not allow null values. So here we will consider this accident index column as a primary for the accident table. So we'll click on that. So we are going to consider this as primary key. Now I'm only making this change over here, and any other change if we require we will do that in the query part itself, and we can do the transformation when we write the queries. Now after selecting the required option we are going to click on next and now click on finish. So this is completed and the result is success. Now close it. Now let me import the other vehicle.txt file also. We will do the same thing. Right click, then click on task. Now import flat files. Click on next. Browse. The table name is vehicle.txt. That is the flat file. Open. The table name is vehicle and table schema is DBO. Click on next. Now the data has been converted into raw column format. Click on next and now what we are going to do here is we are going to consider this vehicle ID as primary key, and few of the columns I'm going to allow null values because in the table there are null values. We are allowing basically all these columns to have null values. Now click on next, finish it. Let us see what happens. Now we have successfully inserted data into the table and the result is success. Close it. Now what we can do is we can run the queries and see the columns present in the tables and the schema and what is the relation between the two tables. So we will run both the tables. Execute this. So we have the tables. The first table is accident table and the second table is vehicle table. So in the accident table, accident index is the primary key and we have some other columns which are severity, which shows the severity of the accident, and this is the date, which shows when the accident has occurred. This is the day in which accident occurred. This is the speed limit, then lighting condition, which is darkness or daylight, and the other one is weather condition. This is the road condition, and finally area in which accident has occurred. And coming to the second table, which is the vehicle table, we have vehicle ID, which is the primary key over this table, and we have the accident index column similar to what we have in the accident table, and this accident index key will act as foreign key, which we can use to basically connect the accident table and vehicle table. And coming to the next column, which is the vehicle type and point of impact, where the impact actually has happened. Left hand, the impact has happened in the left side or right side, that is what it is telling. Then journey purpose, then propulsion, and finally we have age of vehicle in month. And also we will consider the null values in age of vehicle column as 0, which basically tells us that the vehicle is not even 1 month old. We will do that transformation when we write the query. And this is all about the data. Now we will move on to questions one by one. Moving on to the first question. So our first question is, how many accidents have occurred in urban areas versus rural areas? So the question is to compare the number of accidents occurred in urban and rural areas. And from the table accident, we already have the column called as area. We already know that accident index is a primary key column and accident index won't be repeating. So all the rows within the accident tables are unique rows. So we can simply count the number of rows with respect to area, and we can see what is the number of accidents occurred in rural and urban areas, or whichever options are present in the area column. So we'll start writing the query. Select area, we'll count star num accidents, that is a column name I'm giving from the table accident. And since we are using an aggregate function, we are going to group the result by area. And now let me run the query and we should get the answer. And we can see that in urban area we have 58,533 accident, and in rural area we have 21,999 accident. And now let us write a different query for the same question, which will give us an answer in different format. Basically what that query will do is, it will pivot the area column and will bring the urban and rural values into column names. So select, we'll use one parenthesis, we'll use a second parenthesis, and inside the first parenthesis select count star from accident where area equal urban, and that is the first query. And this query I'm going to give a name as urban accidents, and inside the second parenthesis we are going to write the same query but a little bit difference in the where clause. I'm pasting it over here, and now instead of urban we are going to use rural, and column name is rural accident. Now let us run this query and see what is the result. So we have the result in a different format, which is basically easy to compare sometimes. Let me run both the query and we'll see the difference between the results. So we have the same results but in different format. In the first one we have a area column, we have a number of accidents column. In the second query we have two columns, which are urban accidents and rural accidents. The second result can be obtained using pivot function as well. Since I will be explaining and using pivot function for a different question in the same video, I'm not going to do that here because we already saw two methods of writing the query. Now let us move on to our second question. The second question is, which day of the week has highest number of accidents? Let me query the table once again. Select star from accident. Let me refresh the server once again so that I can see the tables which are present in the database. So database, so accident database, tables, and we have accident and vehicle tables. So it is not accidents, it is accident. I will run this query. You will see the columns which are available. So from the accident table we have to find the days of week which has the highest number of accidents. In the accident table we have the column called as day, and since all the rows are unique in the accident table, what we have to do here is we have to simply count the number of accidents or number of rows for each day. So we'll start writing the query. Select, we have the column called as day, comma, and we'll count where star as accident count, and from the table accident, and we'll use a group by clause, group by day. Now we'll run the query, but there is a slight difference in the question. So we have days and corresponding accidents. Now the question is, which day of the week has highest number of accidents? So we don't want all the weekdays in the result, we only want day for which the number of accident is the highest. So instead of this query we will write a top one, and since we are using a top one clause, after the group by clause we have to order the result using the accident count, because only then we can get the actual top one result, which is basically telling the day on which maximum number of accidents are happening. So we'll do it in descending order. Otherwise, by default, it is ascending order. So when we run this query, we should get only one row for which the number of accidents is maximum. That is, Friday is the day on which accident count is maximum. So this is the first query. Now we'll write a second query for the same question, because basically this data has gone through some pre-processing and we already have the day column in the accident table. Normally we may not have this column. During that time, what we can do is we already have a date column, and from the date column we can actually get the day, and then that day we can use to count the number of accidents. That we will see in the next query. So select, and we are going to use the date column, and instead of simply using the date, we will use the date name function. That is date name function, and what we want is we want weekday comma, and the second one is expression or the date, and us will give a name weekday. And now the other parts are similar. Count star as accident count. Now from accident table, and we will do a group by clause on the same function on date, copy, and we will paste it over here, and order by is on the same column, which is accident count. Paste it, and we'll do a top one also here, because we only want the weekday for which highest number of accident has occurred. It should be same. It should be Friday, and the number of accidents should be same. Now it's different because what happened is here I haven't given any ascending or descending order. By default, accident count is taking it as ascending. We'll change it to descending, and now the result should be Friday and 12,937. Now we'll run both the query and we'll compare the result. We have the two queries. The first one is this one without any specific function, or we have the day column directly. Second one is we are deriving the day, weekday, from the date column, and we have the same result, that is Friday, and accident count is 12,937, which is basically same for both the query. Now let's move on to our third question. So our third question is, what is the average age of vehicles involved in accidents based on their type? Let me query both the tables and let us see which columns are required from the tables to solve the question. Let me run both the queries. So we have the tables. The first table is accident. We have the second table, which is basically the vehicle table. So what we have to find here is we have to find the average age of vehicle involved in accidents based on their type. So coming to the accident table, we don't have any vehicle type mentioned in the accident table. So we can come down to the vehicle table and we can see that, yeah, we have a vehicle type column, and from the vehicle table, the last column is age of vehicle. So we can use the age of vehicle column and vehicle type column to find the average age of vehicle involved in accidents. Now let us start writing the query. Select. The first column is vehicle type and the function is average function. The age of vehicle column will be used inside the average function vehicle as average age vehicle, and from the table vehicle, and we'll use a group by clause for the vehicle type column. Now let us run the query and see if we are getting the result. Execute, and we are getting an error here because operand data type n varchar is invalid for average operator. So basically it is telling us that average operator is trying to execute on an n variable character, that is n varchar. So coming to the vehicle table, the columns available are the specific columns, and coming to the age of vehicle column, it is an n varchar column, but we can't apply average function on an n varchar column. And we also know that basically the column contains integer values. So now what we will do here is we will convert the n varchar column into an integer column using alter function. So alter, the first statement is alter table vehicle. Now the second one is alter column, and the column name is age vehicle, and we have to provide the new data type. Now let us run this query and see what is happening. Execute this. Command completed successfully, but here we couldn't see any change. Let us refresh this once again, and we will go to the database, and this is the accident database tables. Inside the columns we can see that earlier it was n varchar, and now the data type has changed to int. Now it should basically fetch the result without showing any error. And now let us run this query once again because we have changed the data type. Now the query is running, and now we have the age of vehicles, average age of vehicles, which are in months. And now we have certain columns which are nulls as well. So what we can do here is we will convert the age of vehicle null values into zeros using an isNull function. If the age of vehicle is null, provide it with 0. Now let us run this once again. Execute, and we have the nulls replaced with zeros. And let us order this result in ascending order of average age of vehicles. Let us run this. We have the results in ascending order based on average age of vehicle, and we can do the same in descending order as well. Simply change the syntax over here, DESC, and we'll get that in descending order. Let us move on to our fourth question now. The fourth question is, can we identify any trend in accidents based on the age of vehicles involved? So here the question is basically compare age of vehicle with number of accidents involved, so that we can plot some line chart or bar chart based on which we can see the actual trend. So we have the two tables. The first table is accident and the second table is vehicle. The question is to compare age of vehicle with number of accidents involved. So basically we only need the vehicle table over here because we have the age of vehicle column in the vehicle table. Select the column age of vehicle, comma, and we have to compare the number of accidents involved. To get the number of accidents involved, we can simply count to a count star, number of accidents, and from the table vehicle, and we will do a group by clause on the age vehicle column. Let us run the query and see what is the result we are getting. We have the result, and also in the result we can see that we have a null value over here. So it is basically telling that it is not even 1 month since we have bought the vehicle, or since the person has bought the vehicle. So we'll convert this null into 0 using the isNull function over here, isNull comma 0. So instead of null, use 0, and column I will rename as age of vehicle. Yeah, now we'll run this once again. Before that, let me sort it using the order by clause, order by age of vehicle in ascending. Execute this. We have age of vehicle and number of accidents corresponding to age of vehicle as the result. We can copy this result, basically copy this and copy with header, and I am going to plot this, and I am going to plot this in Excel. I am pasting this data over here, and we'll simply plot a line chart or an area chart, and we'll see what is the basic trend. So we'll insert, and we'll insert a area chart. So we can see that in the x-axis we have age of vehicle, and in the y-axis we have number of accidents. So mostly new vehicles are prone to accidents, or aged vehicles are not much involved in accidents. We can get that insight from this chart. Now let us move on to our next question, which is the fifth one. The fifth question is, are there any specific weather condition that contribute to severe accidents? And also it is given that severe accidents are the accidents which belongs to fatal and serious severity. Let me query the table first. So we have severity in the accident table and also weather condition in the accident table, and so we don't want vehicle table to answer the question. So let us start writing the query. Select the first column is severity, comma, and the second column is weather condition, and now we want to count the number of accidents based on severity and weather condition. That is count star. So accident, that is the number of accidents from accident table. We are going to group the result by the two columns, which is severity and weather condition. We could use simple approach to solve this question, but first I will solve this question using a pivot function, and then we will move on to a simpler approach, because rather than simply solving the question, actually my aim is to go through more techniques and functions so that we can learn more from the query. So we will group the result, and now let me run this query and see what is the result that we are getting. So we have severity as the first column, weather condition as the second column, and number of accidents as the third column. So we have result in this format. Now what we want to do here is we want to pivot this result in such a way that we have the severity, that is fatal, serious, and slight as headers. So we will keep this inside SETE, that is T1 as, and comma select star from T1, and this we will keep inside another parenthesis. As an outer query, we will write one more select star from this subquery, and we will give a alias name T1 here. Then after this, now we will write the pivot function, pivot, open and close parenthesis, and inside the pivot we will give an aggregate function, that is sum of, it can be either sum, min, maximum, whatever, because all these combinations are unique, so it does not matter. Either we use min, max, average, or whichever aggregate function, the result is going to be same. That is sum of num accidents, and after that we are going to use a for. Next is the other column name which we are going to pivot, that is severity, in open and close a bracket or parenthesis, and inside this we have to specify the different values which are available for severity column. That is the first value is fatal, the second value is serious, and the third value is slight. So this value actually we have to provide inside this parenthesis. So I am providing the value, and we have to give an alias name for this function as well. Now let me run this query and let us see what is the result. Till now, execute this. Now we have the result in the pivoted format, which is we have weather condition, we have severity, fatal, serious, and slight as separate columns. But our question is to find accidents which belongs to fatal and serious severity. That is are there any specific weather condition that contributes to severe accidents? And severe accidents are accidents which are only belonging to fatal and serious severe. So we can basically go ahead and create one more column which tells us the accident is severe and the corresponding weather condition. So we'll put this query also inside a CTE. So comma, that is T2 us, open and close the bracket, that is inside CTE, select star, that is all the columns from the current result. And next is we want one more column which is basically summing up the accident count of fatal and serious. Since we have null values in the result, we can use an isNull function also, otherwise we will get null value in the particular column. So isNull, the first column is fatal, comma 0, and this plus isNull serious, comma 0, and this is the column and the name is as severe accidents, and this is from T2. Now it should fetch a new column which is basically telling the number of severe accidents. So we have one more column which is the sum of fatal and serious accidents, that is 18 plus 164, which is basically 182, and the weather condition corresponding. And as you can see here, this is why we used a isNull function over here, because this is null and 13, null plus 13, actually without the isNull function the result would have been null. Currently, since we are using isNull, we have 0 plus 13, which is 13. We don't want all these columns in the result, we only want weather condition and severe accidents. So we can also do one more thing here, that is T2 dot weather conditions. Now we'll have the result in such a way that is severe accidents and the corresponding weather condition. Now we will solve this query in a very simple manner. This is a bit complicated, but we have gone through a lot of concepts in the query, but we can actually solve this in a very simple manner. We'll copy this innermost query, we'll paste it over here, and after the from clause we'll put a where clause, inside that severity in, and we'll use the two values which is fatal and serious. Copy these values, paste it over here. Now let us run the query and see what is the result we are getting. Also before that we need to do one more thing. We have to actually remove this severity from the select clause as well as group by clause. Now let us run the query. We have the result. Let me order it, order by num of accident. Let me run this query. Okay, now let me run both the queries. We'll write an order by clause here also, copy. Okay, we'll run both the query, the first complex one and the second simple one, and let us compare the result. See, there is no change in result. We have the same result with both the queries. Now let us move on to our sixth question. We have 3 more questions to solve in this video, which is the question 6, 7 and 8, and our sixth question is, do accidents often involve impact on the left side of vehicle? For that we'll be using the table, vehicle table, select star from vehicle, and we have a column in the vehicle table which is telling left hand or not, and we will do a count star which is grouped by left hand. Then it will basically tells us how many accidents involves impact on left hand side or not. That is select, column is left hand, comma, count star from num accidents, and the table is vehicle. We'll do a group by on left hand column. Let us run the query and we should get the result. Incorrect syntax near the keyword from. I am giving a from here, it's not from here. This is a column name as. Now we should get the result. We have 4 rows. The first one is null, then the second one is yes, which basically tells the impact is on left hand side. The other column is data missing or out of range. The last one is no. So majority of the accidents does not involve left hand side. Now let us move on to our 7th question. The question is, are there any relationship between journey purpose and the severity of accident? To answer this question, we need both the tables, the accident and vehicle table, because the first column, which is the journey purpose is available in the vehicle column, and the severity of accident is available in the first table, which is the accident table. So basically we want to combine the two tables and get the corresponding result. We can do a select star from first table is accident, join this table on vehicle. Let us give an alias name to both the table. Let the accident table be A and the vehicle table be V, and on A dot the column name is accident index equal V dot accident index. That is the second column name. Now we wanted the relationship between journey purpose and severity of accident. So what we can do here is, instead of the star, the severity is available in the accident table, that is A dot severity, comma, and the second column journey purpose is B dot purpose, and now we will count the number of records or the number of accidents. Count star as number of accidents. Now let us run the query, and before that we should give a group by clause also, because we are using an aggregate function over here. Group by A dot severity and B dot journey purpose. Now let us run this query. We have to remove this comma as well. Execute. We should get the result. So we have severity and journey purpose, and the number of accidents corresponding to the severity and journey purpose. Also, we can sort this result using order by clause, order by the number of accidents, that is num accidents, as descending. So execute this. Now we have severity, journey purpose, and the number of accidents, which is sorted in descending order of accidents. Now we will move on to our final question, which is the 8th question. So our question is, create a stored procedure to calculate the average age of vehicle involved in accidents, considering light conditions and point of impact as two input variables, and also given that let the input variables be daylight and point of impact be offset. So we'll take the light condition as input variable 1 and point of impact as the second input variable, and we'll find the average age of vehicles involved in accidents. So we'll start writing the procedure. Create procedure, and our procedure name is average age vehicle, and now we'll open the bracket and we will provide two variables. And the first variable be light condition and the data type be varchar, that is 100, size is 100, comma, and the second input variable is point of impact, that is also having a size of 100 varchar, and we'll close the bracket. Now after the as close, we will begin and we will write an end as well, and inside the begin and end we will write our stored procedure query. And before that, let me query both the tables once again, because I don't know in which table both of these variables are present, which is the light condition and point of impact. So our first variable, which is the light condition, is present in accident table, and our second variable, which is the point of impact, is present in the second vehicle table. Select. We want the average age of vehicles that is available in the second table, which is the vehicle table. So we are going to give an alias name B for the vehicle table. So age vehicle as average age vehicle, and from the vehicle table giving an alias name join the second table, which is the accident table A, on v dot accident index, because that is the column we are going to join, index equal A dot accident index. And now we have to give a where clause where we are going to specify the light condition and point of impact, where the column name is light condition. Light condition is in the accident table A dot light condition equal the variable name, that is the at light condition. Copy, we'll paste it over here. And the second one is and v dot, the second column name is point impact equal, copy this variable name and we'll paste it over here. Now we have completed our stored procedure. Now we will run this create procedure query and create the procedure, and then we will run the stored procedure. Execute. So our stored procedure is created. Now what we will do is we will run the query for the particular light condition daylight and point of impact offset, and see what is the average age of vehicle. So I will copy these two values. Okay, execute. Procedure name is average age vehicle, copy. Okay, now we are going to provide this as input. The first one is daylight, the second one is offset, which is the point of impact. Now let me check the order in which the variable is given. First is light condition, second is point of impact. Light condition, point of impact. Now let us run the query and we should have the result, that is average age of vehicle is 7. That is the average age of vehicles involved in accidents with light condition daylight and point of impact offset, that is 7. Now we have learned how to create a stored procedure. Now we have completed solving all the 8 questions, and the 2.txt files which I have used to create the tables will be available in the link provided in the description. So you can go ahead and download the table and practice this query. Thanks for watching the video, and if you like the video, subscribe our channel. Thank you.